I wonder if it's a rumble to check out Shameless Berg's page over there. I've been going to his Odyssey, but he hasn't uploaded in like a week. So I was like, wow, is he somewhere else? Where he's, I asked him on X, but I'm so bad at my stuff. I ask people questions, I email people stuff, I leave comments, and then I forget about it and don't check them. So I don't know if he got back to me, but it was just not, I didn't DM him. I just put it in a comment, like, hey, where do you upload the most? Like, where are you most active? You know, so I could know, because maybe somewhere else. So I went over to Rumble, and I have a page on there. I got my own channel there that uploads stuff from my YouTube, and I guess fucking from my phone too, because when I was there I looked at my channel and there's like these weird videos of me walking around my house, and I'm like, man, these are notation videos, like ones I make if I'm trying to make a note of something, like, hey, I'll read something somewhere and I want to make a note but I don't want to write it down, and it's just me fucking with some of my my toys trying to make them do stuff. And I'm like, I never uploaded this shit to YouTube. So where's it getting these from? I guess when I made my Rumble account, I okayed them to have access to my cameras and stuff. So it's uploading like videos from my camera. And usually, like when I make videos like this, I'll make raw footage and then I edit it together. So I think maybe there's just the raw unedited stuff there too. I don't know, like, it's bizarre, but the good thing is it's all in storage. Like, I've tried over the years to make my channel visible, but I can't seem to do it. All that aside, I had to fucking make it about me. It's a pain in the ass to use that fucking site. Here's what I was gonna say. Even though I have a channel, it still made me go through age verification to watch his videos. And the verification is so fucked up, it just has numbers. Like you put August 5th, August 11th, June what, but it's still 2025. You have to hand go back, like, through 12 months to get to 2024. It's a little arrow. And then you gotta go 12 more months to get to 2023. I'm like, this is fucked. There's no way this is what they're using. So I stopped at 1999 because I couldn't fucking be asked to do it anymore. And I was really born in 71, but for the intents and purposes of watching Spurg videos on Rumble, I was born for them in 1999. So fucking man, I finally get to his to watch the video, and they played 2 fucking commercials before it. Hang on a second, I'm running this store. Looks so hazy, hang on. Professionalism, it looks worse, hang on. What the fuck, man? Oh my god. It looks insane. It's the lights, I think. Because when it's in the darkness, it looks a little bit better. Oh god, I never want to be out of that store so fast. I was just surrounded by new residents. One ahead of me, one behind me, one at the counter, one waiting. It's like, it's just so weird because 2019, that would have been impossible to be stuck in an area with so many of them, because we didn't have them at all. It must be hard for people to believe that, hear me say that. Hang on, fuck. There we go. How long have I been doing this now? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it must be weird for people to hear me say that, like, we didn't have black people here, because we just didn't. We didn't. They simply didn't live here. Same thing with Latinos. None. I remember making a big deal about running into a Latino guy in Chinatown, like 2018. It was in the good days before COVID. And I overheard him talking, Latino guy with a Guns N' Roses shirt on. I'm like, holy shit, you're Latino. He's like, yes. I think he was Dominican or probably, I don't know. See, if I go, then they're gonna go. Oh no, it didn't happen. I just don't trust people to go, because a lot of times it's a trap. You know, they'll wait and make you think they're gonna let you go. And then as soon as you put your foot down off the curb, and they fucking start the car. It's like a game of chicken everywhere. But yeah, I was really excited to run into. I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that. Haven't heard your language in a long time. Because for like 10 years I lived in a Latino area, and the mostly Latinos. Hang on a second. Sorry, that guy was freaking me out whenever he was so close to me that I didn't notice him until I looked straight behind me. And then when I stopped, he would stop. It's like, all right, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, but what I'm getting at is it was fucking really rare to see someone from the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico or something. You didn't see them. And same thing with black people. You never saw black people. Hardly ever. Once in a while you'd see one on vacation, you know, with usually with another family. Like, it's not, you know, it's not a thing that black people usually do. Like, if they come, generally, from my experience, if they come into a lot of money, they don't think, oh, let's go on vacation in Hawaii. That's what a lot of my neighbors were saying as a cope during fucking COVID times, when everybody first started noticing it. Like, wow, there's a lot of them going on vacation. I'm like, you don't know black people, do you? They don't go on vacation. If they get a bunch of money from the government in this case, well, I mean, they already get a bunch of money from the government, but in the case of a COVID where they get, you know, a lump sum, they're not fucking going on vacation. Are you kidding me? Like, what? No, they don't do that kind of stuff. Most white people don't do that kind of stuff anymore. Really, vacations are for the more sort of almost affluent. You have to be. I mean, you can still do these budget kind of things, but it's such a fucking, it's so expensive here that if you're coming here, you're spending money. You're gonna spend a bunch of money, you know. That's it. That's it, you know. Whatever. I mean, it's how it is. It's so expensive here. Even more expensive than visiting is living here. That's why it's weird that, you know, well, it's not weird to me because I know why it happened. But I can imagine some people are like, what the fuck is this? Like, how am I busting my ass and making the required $150,000 a year to live here with, you know, they say comfortably. That basically means you get to eat and you live indoors. I mean, you got to generate a lot of money, you know. So these people that we're constantly told need help and are struggling and need your tax dollars, and they just all fucking came here. And like 4 black people in the store with me back then, that little corner store. None of them were together. There's one in the aisle, one ahead of me, one behind me, and one off to the side who had just been at the counter, and a black girl. And you never saw anyone of that background here prior to that. I'm curious as to how many they brought in here. You know, before I started even talking, I was going to bitch about this nice apartment building that me and Nia walk by sometimes, right on the Alloy. I don't know if we'd really ever like to live there, but it's a nice little house. Like, oh, that'd be cool to live there. It's kind of close to the street, but it's a nice fucking cottage. You know, I see a couple guys going in there that are not paying to live there. You know, Bajibi and Mugatu, you know, are going in there, and they don't fucking appreciate any of this shit. They don't. The reason any of them probably came here is the extra money they get for coming here, because they did give them extra money. They make more money per month on their welfare, which they do. And of course, food and all the other shit's paid for. So, you know, the GB Mugatu, they look like they were from, I mean, there's a lot of mainland blacks they brought over, tons, but there's a lot from Haiti and Somalia and the African continent itself that they brought over from here. Those guys are the most dangerous ones because, you know, they come from a place where there's no such thing as rape. It's not a concept. They just see it as sex. They just want the boom boom from the girl. And, you know, I see some of the girls walking around here. I'm just like, these horrible. I don't know. You got to look out for them because these dudes, not used to seeing that kind of shit, you know? They just, I mean, surprised you don't just haven't leaped on any of them walking down the street. I've seen that almost happen. I've seen it get pretty close to that, but then again, who knows? The way they hide stuff here, they hide everything here. I mean, when the two groups of Dindus had a machine gun argument up on Kuhio, they hid it for almost a week. They hid it. They didn't allow it in the media, none of that shit. Because of it, the police chief had to step down, which is good. At least they did something about it. But all that did is make me think that it wasn't organic at all. It was a psyop, you know? And it didn't go the way they wanted it to. That's my opinion as to why they had it. Because they probably said, all right, let's do this over. Let's do a do-over. So they can't, like, have it happen twice. They'd be like, what the fuck's going on? So they figured they'd bury the first time. And a couple people that were there had it on personal videos that went on, like, TikTok, and you could see what happened. Yeah. But, I mean, something like that, pre-diversity, would have been unthinkable that something like that would happen here. This is the second safest city in America at the point. I haven't checked lately, but, you know, last time I think I checked, I was using the number 9. I know it was 11 at one point, and then it bumped up higher. Someone beat us out. And there's a correlation between the amount of dark people you have and the amount of violence directly related. It's directly related. This is how it is. I don't know. You know, I'm just fucking reporting what I see. That's just it. People don't like it. They don't like hearing about it, but this is how it is. You know, it's a fact, you know? And there's no fixing that. You can't fix that. You know, a lot of times you hear people say, is it nature or nurture? It's like it's 100% nature. There is no nurture involved in there. There's no nurture that's ever going to make a difference. Ever. People got to get that out of their head. That there's you know, it's the environment you're raised in. That's bullshit. It's not the parents' fault. People are like, well, it's the parents' fault. No, it's not. Nature, not nurture. 100%. You know, but people, you can't talk that openly and honestly and truthfully about this kind of stuff because they're trying to pull a fucking thing. You know, if it's their people that are doing this, you know, they're putting their soldiers in these places, in these western fucking cities, so they can't have the Goyim pointing this stuff out or thinking about this stuff or being like, hey, you know, what about, you know, they can't have any of that. So they have to protect their dog soldiers, you know, and that's exactly what they do. Yeah, before we had diversity, prior to 2020, we were the second safest city in the nation, and you could feel it. It just felt differently. You know, I always say I'd go out late at night, like I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I'd be tossing and turning. I'd get up at like, you know, 4 in the morning and just go for a walk. Nothing going on. The only thing you had to be a little bit prepared for, in case, was like the street mutants who were still around. They were the number one concern back then. It seems so funny now to think like that was, those guys aren't even a factor anymore. In fact, I'm friendly fucking with most of them now. It's like, you know, that's, I ain't worried about street mutants, you know, it's not what I'm worried about. A gay homeless throw a cigarette. Hey, Shrey, I'll give you a cigarette for later. Ah, come out, you bastard! You bastard!
Hey, maybe you should vape.
I got it.
Yeah.
What is it?
I would too, maybe you should vape.
Ah, no, baby. Have a good night, man. I'll see you later, bud. Alright, later, sweetie. Yeah, it was, the vibe is different too. I mean, the crime here is fucking crazy. It's crazy now. I mean, it went up, homicide went up 80%. in one calendar year, 22 to 2023. That's fucking mental. I don't think that's gonna be a record for somewhere. And they have like stupid fucking white liberals. I wonder what happened. I think it must have been Trump. You know, or the pressures of COVID just caused all these people who don't normally do strong arm robberies to just go get guns and just start robbing all the places that they grew up next to. You know, it has nothing to do with all these people that we brought here from fucking all these other countries and cities and that were already on the dole to be here on the dole to get extra money, you know. We don't call it the dole here in America, though. We just on the government, you know. But yeah, that was going on. The people that they brought were already receiving funding. Were already getting dibs, you know. And here they were offered more to come here. I don't know exactly how much. It's a percentage. Someone's trying to tell me about it, but they weren't sure. How you doing, man? Have a good night. Where's the tables? They took the tables from you? Crazy, man. Have a good night. Yeah, these have tables out there. Well, that's the thing, though, too. That has a lot to do with the imports too. We don't have little places like that anymore because what would happen is, like, I used to see it at Nia's store when she worked over on Lewis Street, is they would come and just sit in all the chairs, even though they weren't eating there. You know, cultural norms are different with those people than anybody else on earth. You know, that's a problem we never had before, where people would take over all the seating in front of the establishment. People just knew not to. Like, oh, I'm not eating there. Why would I go in and bring a big radio there and sit there and death stare at people who walk by? These people don't know. And if you were to try to tell them, they'd get mad at you. And they wouldn't understand. It's nature. It's not nurture. You know, you got to look at things like the brain. You know, why? It's a completely different neural composition going on there. There's parts that just aren't, that we have in ours. And not just white people. They're not just different from white people. They're different from everybody else. There's a large divide. I think the closest to them, I used to know all this stuff when I first started being amazed by this research. Is it Indians or Latino? The closest cousin to them, neurally, is still very fucking far away. They're like a whole different kind of person. And that extends through their physiology, you know, their bodies, how they're made up, body chemistry too. It's all different. But they, you know, in our Jewish programming and spellcraft, it's always they're exactly like you. The reason they want you to think they're exactly like you is if they move in next door to you and they machete the family across the street. They say, why'd they do that? I don't know. Was it you? Did you do something? Because they're exactly like you. So why would you machete someone? Why would you machete someone? It's unthinkable. So they must have had, something must have happened. There must have been some crazy fucking problem they had, because otherwise, why would they do that? Because they're exactly like you, right? So, you know, you think about it. Why would you machete someone to death? There must have been extreme circumstances. I don't know. But either way, I kind of think it's probably your fault. Yeah, so every single time, it's nature over nurture. I mean, we've seen the adoption story where, a family adopts someone who's in a kind of a troubled demographic, or troubled demographic. You know what I mean? White family adopts a black kid. It doesn't matter where they live. No matter how rich they are. You know. Ultimately, many times the kid ends up shooting his girlfriend in the fucking face, and you think, well, what? You raised him so well. It's like the pit bull thing. You know? Fucking, he's never eaten a baby before today. I don't understand. And the same thing with some of these guys from Haiti. I don't understand. Mugatu since he moved in this apartment. He hasn't eaten anybody since he moved into this apartment 6 months ago. I don't know what's gotten into Mugatu. Same with Pajibi. Pajibi, what did you see? Your eyes are as big as saucers. What did you see, Pajibi? What did you see in the jungle? Can you lead us back there? Can you lead us back there? What are you gonna do though? It's supposed to make people like me crazy, and it kind of does, but it's meant to. It's supposed to make us rage, and when we do, we lose. You know, it's like that's why they do this shit. There's humiliation tied to all of it, because the rest of the world, every other people, sees my people as the thing they wish they were or they want to be, whether it's aesthetically, whether they bend over backwards, whether it's men or women trying to get features to align with the Aryan look, or for the perceived privilege that we have, or any of that. People always want to be us, right? That's how it is. And they can see and say, I wouldn't have wanted. Yeah, no, you would. You would. We're lucky, right? But we are taught that we're kind of shit and we're evil and everything else is better. These people eating skunks for lunch in the jungle, they're more noble because they're more connected to Mother Nature. They have a better way of living than you with your with all your materialism, and it's ridiculous. The other thing too is, like, I watch a lot of stuff where they talk about, like, you know, the dark side of man, and we all have these inner feelings. Like someone murders a group of people, and we have to fight against these. I don't have any inner demons that want to murder people that I have to fight against. But speak for yourself. How many of these fucking things have I watched where, like, yes, and we try to hide the dark side of human nature. And so, yeah, just everybody has this dark side, right? It's like, no, what are you talking about? Fucking speak for yourself. You know, I've never thought about, like, genociding anyone. I mean, I know I talk about it here all the time, but really, I'd never, you know, thought about, well, I thought about it, but I didn't mean it exactly, you know. Well, maybe this is a bad example. The point is, though, they always make out like you have some crazy, like, twisted fucking evil. Every man has it. We all have to battle with it. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't think we have it to the exact same amount. You know, I don't want to essay anyone in my immediate family. You know, like, oh, we're just pushing all that. I think that's projection. I think it's the clinical psychologists that come up with all this shit. Maybe they do. Maybe they want to. And considering where they all derive from, you know, it wouldn't be surprising, you know. But whatever. But again, like I said, this kind of stuff is all to make you kind of to rage, to be mad. So, you know, to be mad about it is not good. I probably think about it more just because I doing episodes here. I think about it more than I probably should. But you know, we need to be able to talk about this stuff, at least amongst each other, so we don't go mental. You know what I mean? But another day in the books where I didn't go mental, so that's good. No mental breakdown tonight or today. And we've arrived at home after braving Ross. I'm half fucking thinking about showing you I got at Ross, but I'm not gonna do that. I deal with enough humiliation as it is, as we discussed this episode. Until next time, thanks for dropping in. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.